This is the On the Pony Express podcast. In-depth SMU football. Hosted by Billy Embody. Brought to you by Epic Estate Wines. Walking strong on the Pony Express. A weekly segment with SMU alum, owner, vintner of Epic Estate Wines, Bill Armstrong. Epic Estate Wines. World-class wines from Paso Robles wine country. Learn more. Epic. EPOCH. EpicWines.com. And now your host. Billy Embody. 1, 2, 3. Let we go.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen,
to another edition of the Walking Strong podcast
with Bill Armstrong and Billy Embody,
featuring special guest Mary Krow. And you're listening to my favorite podcast.
Mine too.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you guys.
Go to school, learn something, would you? What movie was that in? They said, go to school. Joel, learn something. It's in whatever.
Might have been.
I'm sorry.
Your generation.
It was the original Tom Cruise movie, whatever it was.
We should know.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we have a fun podcast today.
Yes,
I'm
we do.
psyched to meet Mary. We're going to call this podcast the special edition of There's Something About Mary.
It's perfect.
Surely you guys know that movie, right?
Yes,
I mean,
I do.
So let's introduce some wine.
Yes.
So here's what I'd like to have the flow of the show. Talk about the wine, pour you guys a glass, introduce Mary, tell a couple of stories, then we'll go visit Rice, and then we'll talk about the upcoming UNT game.
Perfect.
Does that work for everybody?
Amazing.
Okay, let's make that happen.
Yeah.
So right here, this week is going to be a very special wine from on the Pony Express case. It is called our Estate Blend.
Yes.
It is an awesome red wine.
First one I've ever tried.
Is it the first one you ever
First
tried?
Epic I tried.
It is a great blend.
Thank you.
It's kind of our what we call our house blend because it's a lot of the wines from our vineyard. So we have Syrah, Grenache, Mourvedre, some Tempranillo, a little Carignan, and a little bit of Zinfandel. So it is a phenomenal blend. We know SMU's big moment when we got into the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
So we had one of our first epic moments. It was in 2013. It was our third ever vintage. The Estate Blend was rated top 25 in the world by Wine Spectator. That was our getting into the ACC moment. So anyway, for that epic story. So anyway, let's cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers,
guys.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're here, Mary.
Yes.
Mary says she's got an important meeting, so she's only going to sip the wine or maybe even like spit it out, which is fine. That's fine.
No.
I get it. I don't have to go to a job. Do you, Billy?
Oh my gosh.
This is my job, right?
Amazing.
There you go.
I love it.
Wow, this wine tastes fantastic. Okay, so let me tell you. So Mary is the new head of Spirit here at SMU, and she is super high pedigree. She's SMU Theta class of 2013.
Correct. Yes.
And former Dallas Cowboy cheerleader.
Yes.
And you guys, I'm sure, in Mustang Nation have noticed the vast improvement in Spirit just in the last year, because you've only been involved really for just over a year.
Yeah.
With
Yes.
us. Yeah.
Started August of last year. Yes.
Yeah. So let me tell you how I met Mary, because it's a great story. So I was at the SMU TCU game 2 years ago.
Mhm.
I was on the field, when I had better relations with Sonny. We always need to talk about, before the breakup and then after the breakup, right? So it was before the breakup, and they go to one of those extended commercial breaks that you see on TV all the time. And I'm standing there on the field, and I turn around, and the TCU Pom squad is called the Showgirls.
Mm-hmm.
And they're stunning. I mean, they're super choreographed.
Yes.
They're well run. I would say top 3 programs in the country.
Definitely, yeah.
Yep. I mean,
For
what
sure.
would you put in the top 5? Would you say USC's famous, right?
USC is very famous. I put Clemson up there. They have a beautiful, beautiful Pom squad. So there's a handful, but TCU has always, in the especially last decade, has been really high up there.
Well, I turn around and I'm looking at the Showgirls, and I'm just going, damn. And so I'm looking for somebody who's in charge of it.
Mhm.
And so I see this gal looking up at him, and I walk over to her and I go, hey, are you running this Pom squad? And she looks at me, and she immediately covers her name tag because she's like, who's this bald-headed 60-year-old creeper coming up to talk to me?
Oh my gosh.
And I go, listen, how did this come about? And she said a great story about how when TCU went to the Rose Bowl. I think was it 2011, their breakout game against Wisconsin. Was that when it was 2011? And they apparently did not have anywhere near the Spirit squad that Wisconsin had. And Emma tells the story, but there was some guy in the owner's box, or the athletic director's box, a rich oil guy. Does that sound familiar? This said, "This is not right. We got to raise our game."
Yeah.
And so he funded it, and then the Showgirls were born. And so I convinced Emma to give me her digits. I said, "Look me up online. I am not a creeper. I'm actually involved with SMU in a big way." Anyway, she called me the next day, and she said, "Okay, you're legit." She goes, "I have just the gal for you. One of my best friends, one of a fellow dancer of mine at on the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders."
Yep.
And so we had lunch, the three of us. I met Mary.
Yep.
I laid out the vision that my wife and I have for the Spirit Squad, because listen, I think we need for the SMU game day to be great, all the way across the board. Band, music, cheer, pom, food, concessions, and then of course the product on the field.
Right.
And every one of them would need to be, in those days it was P5 ready,
Right.
but now it's ACC ready.
Exactly.
So anyway, Mary, you want to tell them just a little bit about what you've learned, the cheerleaders and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So it was so exciting to meet the Armstrongs, and Emma, I remember her message to me. She was like, "I met someone at SMU and I remembered you're an SMU alum, and like, would you be interested in meeting?" And I said, "Absolutely." So then, about a year later, I actually was brought back to SMU. Like I said, I'm an alum here, and they called me, and I had worked with a lot of universities doing choreography and doing team building and things to get their programs elevated. And so they brought me in to work with specifically the Pom Squad. And then in the fall of last year, I interviewed for this job, and then the rest is history. So I'm really grateful to be a part of it, especially right now, because I keep telling our teams there are more eyes on us than there have ever been before. And you have a big job here.
No, it's a
lot
big
of responsibility.
job. I mean, like I bet you when you go and watch a TCU game, the eyes are on the Showgirls.
Yes. Yeah.
A third of the time. I
Right.
mean, they're that good.
Right.
I mean,
right.
they're just striking,
Yes.
and they're choreographed,
Yes.
and their spirit. It was just phenomenal.
Yes.
So
Their
I want
entire spirit program.
that
Right.
at SMU. I think we need to increase the size of our
Sure,
group. I think
yes.
we're at 12 now.
Yes, 12 Pom, but 30 cheer. And, I think that as we also grow and build, we are adding that co-ed element to cheer, specifically to bring some of that athleticism, that male energy back, so that we can have an all-girl corner, a co-ed corner, and a Pom Squad corner. And I think
no A&M yell leaders.
No.
None of that.
Yeah,
Okay,
no.
good. That's what
Yes.
it's clear.
Yeah, just to make sure.
Yeah.
But that will cover the footprint of the field. I remember in the very beginning, we talked a lot about the footprint and how much space we were covering, how many people were able to be impacted by what the teams were doing. So I think that's a little bit of what we've added in the last year. And it will certainly become more visible, especially next year as, the Gary Weber End Zone complex is completed. And we're going to have a lot more exciting things to show everyone.
Well,
so.
Mary, it's so noticeable already.
Thank you.
The change is already, it's just been fantastic.
It's a lot of fun.
And the girls are great. By the way, we're going to have some cool outtakes after the show where these girls behind us here predicted the score of the SMU game this weekend, and some other really fun stuff. So describe to me the perfect look for a Pom gal or cheer.
Right.
Some people,
what are we looking for?
What are we looking for? Are we looking for Dallas Cowboy light, cheerleader light, or are we looking for what?
Right. I feel like, especially at this level and for a school like SMU, we're looking for a well-rounded person, male or female, somebody who is passionate about what they do, uber talented, but also responsible, intelligent, well-spoken, a fabulous brand ambassador, because that really is what I see the teams as. They're brand ambassadors for the school, for the athletic department. So that's what we're really looking for. Like whenever we have tryouts, we are looking for that well-rounded person that comes in and says, I'm ready, I'm confident, I'm prepared for the job.
And it's a lot on game days to
Yes.
commit to that, whether it's football, basketball, other sports.
Yes.
There's a lot that goes into all that.
Right, exactly. And they do it all. They do
Yeah.
basketball, football, soccer, tennis.
I
We've even
want
done some equestrian.
when SMU is playing Duke on national television, and they scan over to the cheer.
Yep.
That every 18-year-old female, male in the country says, "Man, I want to go to SMU."
Absolutely.
That's the goal for me.
Yes.
We will be. I'm determined that we're going to be the best in the country at this.
100%.
So it is really fantastic. All right, so challenge to the listeners of this: TCU has the name of their Pom squad as Showgirls. What's USC's called?
Song girls.
What does Clemson? What does LSU have?
I think they're Tiger Paws. I need to
Tiger Paws.
something. Don't
LSU's
quote me on that.
Golden Girls.
Golden Girls. We have
Golden Girls.
Yes.
Okay. So
Mizzou
Clemson
is
is
also Golden Girls.
Okay, we got two Golden
Yes.
Girls.
Because
Isn't that supposed to
LSU's
be
Tiger
like-
Girls and Golden Girls. They have two teams.
Aren't Golden Girls like the elderly sitcom or something?
It is.
I don't. What does someone call them Golden Girls?
Yeah.
I don't work for me.
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
so we don't have a name for the Pom squad.
Right.
I am thinking that we need an identity for the Pom squad. I think some former Pom people say they want to keep the name Pom squad. I like the idea of having something that is SMU
Branded.
brand specific. So as listeners, put in your recommendation. What do you call them? Dallas Girls, or whether you call them Pony Team, or I don't know what,
Right.
whatever you do it.
This is why we're asking for help.
Yeah.
We're asking
Just
for
a
help
fun-
because
fun little
we don't
challenge.
have a name.
Right.
I will give the winner a free bottle of this phenomenal wine
It's pretty
we go.
awesome.
for
Yeah.
so
Drop it in the
let
comments.
let the comments begin. Let the contest begin.
Well, that also it brings up an interesting point about the difference between Pom and Cheer, and that's another thing that I really wanted to highlight is that these are two individual groups with very specific strengths that we need to define those roles and have them be equally excellent so that they can kind of fulfill whatever that role is. And a lot of people get confused by the word Pom. They're like, oh, is that just another cheer team? So we have some education to do with just letting people know, no, there's some differences here, and this
Pom's
is what their
more,
job
Pom's
is.
more dance. More
Correct.
dance.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a different type of personality, different type of
Yes.
athleticism,
Yes.
etc.
Completely
that
different
comes from
training.
cheer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. Well, anyway, that's the plan.
pro.
That's the plan for Spirit. I am really psyched about it. I think everybody will really appreciate how much better we are going to get and how much better we already are. So, hey, let's talk about the game. You want to?
Yeah, let's do it.
Wow. First of all, first and foremost, 7-2.
Yep.
Woo.
I'm just saying that. I mean, how great is that?
It's pretty awesome.
I mean, it's really great. 5 straight,
Yep.
3 of the 5 on the road.
Yes.
And this game, it was an ugly game. Let's face it.
yeah.
Weird.
I mean,
It was weird. It's a great way to put it.
I mean, I unfortunately had to go to a black tie event in Denver, Colorado, so I got to see the first 5 minutes and the last 1 minute of the game. But I was following it at this,
On your phone.
on my phone the entire time. But I mean, you look at that beginning. Easy first strike. RJ Maryland, I've never seen somebody so open.
Yeah.
And then we gets called back for a hold that wasn't a hold.
Yeah.
If you saw it on replay, the guy fell down. It kind of did a flop, and we were whistled as a hold, and then we do this ridiculous fake punt. Arguably, this. I mean, I love fake punts, not well executed. I'm just between whatever. I wasn't happy about it, and then they block the punt and they scoop it in. They go in. So here it is, 5 minutes in the game. It's 14-0 on the road, and you spotted the team 14 points. So we had all this adversity, but yet we came back. I thought that was really good,
Yes.
strength of character move.
Yeah,
Right.
SMU settled in really well. And I mean, the defense, they got, the special teams just overall was kind of spotting Rice, good field position, 7 points, all these different things. And, the defense just kind of buckled down a little bit. A couple moments there, but this Rice offense had been passing for 300 yards a week.
Yeah.
And they were held to 290 total yards. So
Yeah.
it's really
No,
impressive.
we did
there.
dominate. I mean, it was a shockingly close score. We could have really won big. I mean, if you look at it,
Yeah.
I mean, it was one of those games that I know a lot of people were kind of whining to me, like, oh, but at the end of the day, we won.
Rice has played a lot of teams tough.
They played a lot of teams tough. I mean, they beat Houston.
Yep.
So they're a way better team. By the way, they're chippy as shit. What was that all about? I mean, that's not a Rice school.
I didn't have that on the bingo card.
I mean,
I
Rice,
know. I heard-
Rice
I-
is supposed to be the smart team, and they were taking cheap shots. They were talking shit. I don't know. I thought it was a little lack of class, a little bit on Rice's I didn't expect that from Rice.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by that too. I mean, they've built that program, and it just felt like they were taking the game a little personal, which is fine.
Yeah.
But
And by the way,
cost them in
the
some moments, too.
referees felt like they were taking it out on SMU for leaving the American to go to the ACC. It felt that way to me. I mean, it was just like, what the heck?
Yes.
By the way, there's multiple players of the game.
Yeah.
Again, I got to give it up to Preston.
Yep.
82 yards rushing, almost 100 yards rushing.
Yep.
A great game passing.
Yep.
There was multiple drops, but he still did really well. But then he got almost knocked unconscious in the beginning of the fourth quarter.
Scary.
I mean, it was a hit, right? I wish he would have taken a slide.
Yeah.
But like he said to me, he said, you don't slide in third down in a tight game in the fourth quarter. Well, that's the way to get hurt. So anyway, but Kevin, man, he came in.
He's clutch.
He is clutch, isn't he? I mean, I love it. Isaiah with the big pick again.
That was massive with a hurt shoulder, wrestling it away.
Oh, I didn't realize he had a hurt shoulder.
Yep, a little stinger.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. So anyway, it was again just a game that I'm really proud of it. It was a gutty win.
You got to win some of those.
You got to win some of those.
Yeah.
And every great school. I mean, Georgia's had a couple of games this year.
Auburn.
Where you're kind of like, they won. They're undefeated. They're number one still.
Yep.
But they don't go out there and just dominate every week.
Yep.
So anyway, let's look forward to Friday.
Yeah.
Love the kickoff time.
8:00.
Oh, I love it.
Hope everybody sleeps in Friday morning.
Way better than 11 a.m.
Yes.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You can get there and you can have a beer and you can have a dinner and
makes for a much better boulevard.
Way better boulevard.
Take a little half day.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we have the best boulevard or best, pregame in the country, but when you have to do it at 8 a.m.
Right.
When it's pouring. Pouring last game.
Yeah, no kidding. So anyway, UNT's better than their record.
Yep.
And they are getting better each week, feels like to me.
Yeah, they're playing really, really tough. They've got statistically the best offense in the American, statistically the worst defense pretty much in the country. So
by the way,
see.
Talking about rankings, have we ever, as SMU, been in the top 10 in scoring and also the top 10 in stingiest defenses?
You were around in the 1980s. You might have to answer that.
I mean, but we're averaging 40 a game.
Yeah.
And then I think we're averaging giving up 15 or something like that, which is, I think, 9th in the country or 10th in the country. Yeah. I mean, that's solid.
Pretty darn good.
So, yeah, they're really good. So, UNT, I'm expecting to have a big game offensively this week. I think the defense got their feelings hurt last week. I think they want to reestablish themselves. Yeah. So, I'm going to go pregame SMU by 20. What's the line?
It has grown to 17 from about 12 last I saw.
Okay.
So
good. What do you think?
I'd say about the same. I was going to give them more. Our girls are really confident. So
they're around the campus. They're feeling the vibe around the players. Like they know. I think it's the last matchup between SMU UNT. It's the lone conference game between them.
Oh, that's true.
I think SMU is a little motivated to bounce back from last week, and especially defensively. I've been on not a streak, but it's been pretty safe to pick about 47-13. I'm going to go 47-17.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty close. We had someone who's really close to your guess.
I have confidence. I have a lot of confidence in whether it's Preston or whether it's Kevin playing this week on Friday.
Preston's still underneath the concussion protocol.
Yeah.
That sounds like a movie. The name of it, like a Robert Ludlum movie or something. The Concussion Protocol. But I mean, he tells me that he feels well, but it's the rules are the rules. They've got to follow.
They got to protect him.
Hey, by the way, James Prochet now is a Cleveland Brown.
Yes.
Everybody, hello.
Amazing.
It's his first game.
The walking strong bump.
There you go.
Dickerson's going to get signed by somebody next.
If you look at Eric, he's still got some miles in those legs.
Oh yeah,
Eric, he's that tough. But Prochet signed with the Browns. I've never been a Brownie fan until now.
Yep.
So I'm pumped. And Cortland Sutton's crushing it at the Denver Broncos. And Rasheed, up until Stroud had his amazing game for Houston, could have been up for Rookie of the Year. I mean, he is that good.
I think Rasheed played the most snaps. I think I saw it on Twitter. The most snaps out of any of the Kansas City wide receivers. 70%. I think I saw that on Twitter, so it's got to be true.
Unbelievable. Yeah. All right. Well, listen.
Beautiful wine.
This wine is
so
just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, the acidity to it, and the you don't have to.
No, I'm
come
good.
in. See, I was going to have to.
It's that good. The
I
wine's that good.
almost wanted to ask for her ID before, just to make sure make she was legal.
I would like that.
Yeah.
I'll accept that.
Yeah. So this wine is incredible. If we win, we've earned it.
Mm-hmm.
Deserve it.
Yes.
And if we lose, we need it. But here we go. Pony up.
Cheers, guys.
Pony up.
Thank you, Mary, for stopping in.
Thank
Bill.
you for
man.
having me.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you so
First
much.
time since journalism class back
know,
at
right?
SMU.
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
back in the day.
Same
SMU
class.
SMU was not this good
It
back
was
when
a
we were
very
still, so,
different. We had a great boulevard
Yes.
going,
Yeah.
but it was a very different ball game
Yeah.
happening. Yeah.
So, cheers, guys. Thanks for
Cheers.
listening to this edition of Walking Strong with Bill Armstrong, Mary Krow. I'm Billy Embody. We'll catch you next week.
Okay, what's your prediction for this week's Friday night game against University of North Texas Mean Green?
I'm thinking it's going to be 49-14 SMU.
Definitely 42-7 SMU.
68-12 SMU, obviously.
My prediction is 56-14 SMU.
Wow, I love the confidence. This is outstanding.
Hi, my name is Eliana. I'm a senior on Pom. I'm from Scottsdale, Arizona, and I'm studying applied physiology and health management.
I'm Kaylee. I'm a sophomore on Pom, and I'm studying advertising, and I'm from Lubbock, Texas.
I'm Tori. I am a sophomore on Cheer. I'm from Orange County, California, and I'm studying journalism.
I'm Mia. I'm a junior on Cheer. I'm studying sports management, and I'm from McKinney, Texas.
Great. Thank you, ladies.
Thanks for listening to the On the Pony Express podcast with Billy Embody. Follow us on your socials on X at SMU-On3 and on Instagram at On3SMU. And keep it locked to OnThePonyExpress.com for more coverage.